Alright, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depends where you are. Hockenheim short A, which probably means there's a short B. Um, so we'll be doing track guide here, regular setup. We'll do the corners in slow-mo and then run them out at full speed. Track's 21 degrees. Setup will be in the description below, but basically 53% brakes, 5 SPO, 8 ARB. If you're having some trouble on this track, try switching your ARB to 7. It makes the back end just more compliant, more predictable, a little more forgiving. That's what I did in my first practice session. I was at a 7 just to learn the track, get the corners down, because every time you spin out or you crash the car, it ruins your memory and rhythm. So if you can put laps together, complete laps, it'll just speed up how quickly you'll learn the track, and it's a lot easier to learn with a 7. 8 is faster. It's better turn in, better rotation of the car. It is faster for sure, but if you're really having some struggles, use a 7. It will help you out. Hit the like or subscribe. It gives you 1/10 off of your lap time, so check that out. So here we go. So, 4th gear, I leave it in 4th gear. I know some people will bump up to 5th gear, but you can test it yourself. Record your session with going into 5th gear and 4th gear and watch what your speed is at the braking zone. Unless you're drafting behind somebody, I think 5th gear is just a waste. So, in between the 100 and the 50 board, getting on the brakes. Of course, this is hot tires and getting lower fuel. So when you're on cold tires, basically you're braking in the same spot, just putting more brakes on. That's all. So leaving it in 4th, releasing the brakes, getting on the power, and aiming for this sausage curb. Now, speaking with a friend, if any of you did the Hockenheim GP race last season, this sausage curb was death. If you hit it, if you struck it head on, you could break your suspension. Certainly, you're going to lose or bend a wing. It was rough. If you brushed it, you were okay, but if you hit it, it was deadly. So I don't know if the Iracing gods have changed this curb completely, or if it's just a change for the short course. But you can hit this curb now. It will upset the car a little bit, but it's not going to damage it. And basically, if given the option of running wide or hitting this curb, I would hit the curb. Again, you want to just brush the edge of it, ideally, but if you're going to err on the side of hitting the curb, and I think I did on this lap. Yeah, a little bit too much there. 4th gear, unwind the wheel, run it out wide. If you've done this track, of course, you know getting over this blue stuff is off track, so don't do that. And I don't know all the exact off track markers per se, but I believe past this white line, if you're still on the green stuff, that's an off track as well. So get back on track. Careful if there's someone beside you. So leaving it in 4th gear. So at full speed, you'll be able to see in my head, I'm braking between the red curb and the 50 board, but in slow motion, obviously I am braking a little sooner than that. So in 4th gear, shifting down into 2nd gear, hard on the brakes for this one. In a straight line, you want to be braking, using a little bit of this green patch just to try and open it up a bit. And then once you're kind of at the end of this cement here, turning in, if you turn in early, you're going to get on the grass and get a 1X and really slow down. If you turn in too late, well, you're going to decorate your car with those pylons. So it's a little tricky for sure, but easing off the brake, getting back on the gas, that's going to settle the back end, and just trying to get up alongside this blue curb. I turned in just a little bit too much here. I would have rather had my wheel on the fully on the curb than touching the grass. If you get really on the grass, it is a 1X, but I managed to keep it on enough on the curb that it's not. Unwind the wheel, second gear. You can get on this grate, the drainage grate. It doesn't hurt you, at least not that I've found. So just unwinding the wheel, working up the gears. So coming up to this next corner, you want to be on the right hand side. However, if there's someone behind you, you gotta cover the left, otherwise they're gonna go up the inside. If you are on the left side, you're not going to lose much lap time, but a little bit. So ideally, if you got the space behind you, stay right and open this corner up as best you can. Fourth gear, you want to try and get onto this cement section here. It's not a 1X, but if you're much over, it probably is. And just get the car as left as you can. I think if you're on the grass here, it is a 1X, so be careful of that. So in fourth gear, now visually I am braking and shifting down into third gear at this point, but obviously in slow motion I am doing that a little sooner than I think. I know a lot of people will carry, they won't brake, they won't downshift at this point, but I find doing this settles the car, keeps it easier under control, and you got to make this corner 15 or 16 times in a race. I think I put up a pretty decent time, and doing it this way just works better for me. So third gear on the brakes, just a little bit of brakes just to steady the car. And then at this point here, you'll see it in the full motion just before this next curb, shifting down into second gear. And then again, a bit of brake there, and then just easing off the brakes, getting on the power early, and that I find really works well, is getting on the power early for this one. You can see I'm already full power. I'm not really unwinding the wheel, but try and unwind the wheel as much as you can. Run the car wide. Just try and make use. These straights aren't very long, so as much acceleration and straight line speed you can maximize, the better. So up into third gear. This curb coming up here, you can really abuse it. Get on the green stuff. There's no 1X. I think if you get on the grass there probably is, but keep it on the green stuff. You can take that whole curb as long as you're not putting too much input into the steering wheel. That works just fine. If you're turning the steering wheel a fair bit, that green stuff is a little slippery and you can get a little unstable there. So as long as you're kind of straight lining it, you're good on that green stuff. So run out wide, fourth gear onto the blue curbs and make your way over to the right. Again, if there's someone right behind you, you may want to be a little bit more mid-track. Again, at full speed, I believe I'm braking kind of right at the 50 board, not even in front of it, but right at it. In slow motion, obviously, my perception is a little different. But braking down into third gear, now some people will go 2 gears right away, hard braking. I do some hard braking, brake down into third, let it carry a bit in third gear, and then coming up towards the end of this blue curb, shifting down into second, just to carry a little bit more speed is my theory, I guess. This is a cambered corner, so like some of the other track guides have talked about, if you're high up here on the camber, you're going to have a lot less grip, so be aware of that. Your back end is really going to want to kick out on you. As well, this whole corner, it's a little tricky. If you come in with too much speed, even if you're down here, the back end is going to want to kick out on you. So be careful about how much speed you're carrying into this into this corner when you turn the wheel. If you're carrying too much speed, that back end is going to get loose. So in second gear, back on the power, you kind of want to rub up against this curb. I'm a little bit on this curb. It's okay. Just, you can see my throttle is a little on the easy side. If your wheels are on the curb, you'll spin your tires, and again you can unsettle the car. So if you do end up on the curb, just ease the throttle back on and get yourself back on the gray stuff. Unwind the wheel, second gear into third gear. You can use a little bit of this green stuff. You don't want to run real wide out here. If you're running out real wide, you're probably actually losing time. So you don't want to be any wider than I was there. I probably could have been a little tighter if I wouldn't have got on the curb. So for this next one, third gear, and you can use this green stuff again. This is just going to help you open up the next corner and save you a little bit of time as well. So you want to get as left as possible. It's kind of an awkward approach into this one. So you want to get as left as you can up here. Again, I'm on hot tires, low fuel. You're going to have to brake on cold tires. Probably just coming up to the first kind of blue strip here. But because I'm on hot tires, it's and low fuel, I'm just lifting. In third gear, just lifting and downshifting into third gear, and then just picking up the throttle just to steady the back end. And you really want to ride this blue curb. I probably took a little bit too much here. I'm a little bit over, but it's really important to get your wheels on this blue curb. If you're on the gray stuff over here, you're gonna run really wide. Like what I did here, my wheel got a little bit on the inside, and as long as you're careful with the throttle, it's not going to hurt you too bad, and in fact it will help hold you a little tighter as well. So back up to full power, and you want to unwind the wheel to this red curb up here. You're still in third gear. On colder tires, probably touching the brake here a little bit just to get the turn in better. You're aiming for the apex up over here, but again, just because the tires are hot and fuel's low, I'm just lifting. So a little bit of brake on cold tires, but I'm just lifting here. And then you want to get the car turned in. That's the important part, is getting the car turned in kind of at this separation point here of those red marking curbs. Get the car turned in, and then get on the power as quick as you can, because this is, it's not a long straightaway, and the more speed you can get now, just the better it is for you for your lap time. And you can get over that curb. Yeah, you can get onto this green stuff here. It's not really going to hurt your lap time, and it's it probably cost me a little bit. If you're coming in a little hot, it will help you from running wide. I probably could have saved a couple hundredths if I didn't do that, but it's not the end of the world, and it helps you from running wide. And just unwind the wheel. Lots of space here. I could have been even, as long as you keep your wheel on the green stuff, there's no 1x. So there's lots of space out there to run wide. So that's a 109.1. Hope this helps you out. I will see you guys out there. Good luck. Again, hit the like or subscribe if it helped you out. And we'll do it here.